Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, YouTube. Thank you for joining us this morning.
You said something? Did you say something? Hi, good morning. This is Jackie.
And Coach Patrick.
And you're listening to WAAW Shout 94.7 FM, the voice of the gospel truth.
This is a day the Lord has made.
And we're going to rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning, CSRA. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We hope everybody is doing well out there, enjoying the nice weather. Of course, it's been some cool mornings, back in some cool mornings this morning. So we want to just, continue to just still be cautious out there. Just continue to still just watch the weather and just be mindful, guys. Just be mindful, with the weather. They, talking about, different things that are going on, so you just want to be cautious and aware of things,
Most definitely.
And of course, guys, you know that we are voting. I think early voting is over now.
Yesterday was the final day. So if you didn't catch early voting for the last 2 weeks, make sure you get out on the primary day on Tuesday, May 19th, and get your vote in, get your vote, make sure it's counted. We're hearing a hum. I don't know if you guys are hearing it out there, but we're going to try to work through it. If it gets really bad, just give us a call and let us know. We're going to try to work through this humming. All right, so we just want to welcome you to Help Matters on this morning. We're talking about mental health, mental illness. Aren't they the same? No, they're not the same. And we're going to talk about that on this morning. But first, we're going to acknowledge our sponsors, our partners, and our friends. Aiken Chiropractic, Dr. Dan. When your spine is aligned, your body is too. Aiken Chiropractic is located at 425 Lawrence Street, Northwest. Here in Aiken, South Carolina. Their number is 803-641-9191, and their website is www.aikenchiropractic.com. Centerwell Senior Primary Care. They're helping seniors live healthier and happier lives. They're located at 3435 Wrightsboro Road in Augusta, Georgia. Their number is 706-841-9719. Their website is www.centerwell.com. And Graham's Vehicle Detailing, affordable mobile detailing with professional results every time. Their number is 706-830-4982. And their website is www.grahamsgvd.com. If you would like to be a sponsor, partner, or friend of the broadcast, you can call 706-592-8862. And of course, there are many opportunities and packages so that you can make that investment and advertise throughout the week. If you buy a station-sponsored package, it's be good for your business if you decide to do that. It's a great investment.
All right, guys. All right. So, guys, we're going to have our Help Matters happening coming up momentarily. We got birthdays. Yes.
This is the month of May. So with plenty of people are celebrating birthdays and anniversaries. Our grandson, Noah, he'll be celebrating his 3rd birthday this month. So happy birthday to Noah.
That's next week.
Next week, yeah.
This coming week.
Yeah, next week.
He'll be celebrating his birthday.
3rd birthday.
Yeah.
He ready
3 years.
for it, too.
Oh, he is. He definitely ready.
He ready for it.
He ready for it.
And happy birthday to my sister in Mobile, Alabama, Elaine. Happy birthday, dear. Love you I hope you're gonna enjoy your birthday. I know as much. I think your birthday is around the end of the month, around the 27th.
The
So
30th,
happy
something like
birthday. I
that.
think it's the
Yeah,
27th.
we got Alethea Hudson. Her birthday actually is
Happy
this
birthday,
month as
Alethea.
well. I think hers like is on the 29th, 30th. Some I don't know, but happy birthday.
Happy
But
birthday.
also we want to say congratulations to some of the college graduates.
Oh, most definitely. It is that time of year.
Yes, Dr. Michelle Mitchell.
Congratulations,
Yes,
Michelle.
she is a doctor of physical therapist. Lord, we went up there last week to see her graduate, and congratulations, was awesome. But it was so long because they call it Mercer now. They call each and every one, and they had to be over 350 something students. So, but it was a great, great, great
Awesome.
graduation. It was. So,
Awesome. And that was in Atlanta,
congratulations to
right?
yeah, it was in
Yeah.
Atlanta, the Atlanta campus, because you know that the main campus is in Macon.
Okay.
So, but congratulations to her. I know you're going to do great, great, great things, and to all the upcoming
Graduates. Yeah.
graduates. Congratulations to you. And this coming week, it is the final week of school for students.
Most definitely.
So we want to continue to pray for the safety of our children, our teachers, and just continue to just be be around them, just protecting them, and during this time. We're going to pray for the summer, the kids coming up on summer break,
right. Occupy their time so they don't get,
yes,
too much idle time. How did we get there from birthdays and anniversaries?
I don't know.
Okay, but congratulations.
Congratulations.
To all the graduates.
Sometimes it feels like that.
Listen, we celebrate with you guys because we know that that's no small feat. So continue to stay focused and do what you need to do to continue to be successful in your academics and as you seek what God has for you. So let's get back to those birthdays and anniversaries. Again, happy birthday to everyone celebrating a birthday in this great month of May. Happy anniversary to anyone that jumped the broom tide tonight. However you did it, you did it. You did it, and be happy about it, and build family and love one another and keep becoming one. So happy anniversary, happy birthday to everybody. All right, Jackie.
All right, guys, that's our Help Matters Happening tune, guys. That's when we set aside a moment to give you relevant information that pertain to your health and well-being.
All right, so this morning's Help Matters Happenings, I'm pretty sure that everybody's been hearing about, what's happening on Fort Gordon with Eisenhower Army Medical Center, but the Defense Health Agency publicly confirmed what the future of Eisenhower Army Medical Center at Fort Gordon could look like. In a statement released Monday morning, DHA Director Vice Admiral Darren K. Villa said Congress has been notified of the Department of War's intent to transition Eisenhower Army Medical Center to an ambulatory care center. According to the statement, that transition would include the permanent permanent closure of inpatient care, except for the hospital's residential treatment facility. It also says the operating rooms would be maintained for outpatient surgery, and that the emergency room would transition to an urgent care center. This means DHA is officially confirming a major downgrade of services at Eisenhower Medical Center on Fort Gordon. Now, to stay updated and to get the latest and full statements on this issue, you can go to WRDW News Channel 12 website. I know they've been following this information, so you can get a lot of information there. But why does this matter? Why are we even talking about it? Because Eisenhower serves approximately 30,000 to 40,000 people. That's a lot of people. Operates as a teaching hospital with 80 residents and employs about 1,500 people. So just think about that. There's going to be a trickle-down effect of this thing. So just because you're not a veteran or you don't have services at Eisenhower Army Medical Center, all of those people are going to be coming in the community in Georgia, South Carolina, the CSRA area for services now. So just think about that. While the DHA officials are confirming its intent to cut core services at the hospital and transition it to an ambulatory care center, this does not appear to be a done deal yet. And that's the good news. So it does appear that Congress could have the final say and could possibly make changes to this plan. Unless changes come through congressional action, implementation could begin as soon as September 1st. So if you would like to make your voice heard about these plans, it appears now is the time to do so. So Georgia, you got your senators, Jon Ossoff. His local phone number is 706-261-5031. You got Senator Raphael Warnock. His number is 770-694-7828. Representative Rick Allen, Georgia, 706-228-1980. And on the South Carolina side, you got Senator Lindsey Graham. His phone number is 803-933-0112. Senator Tim Scott, phone number is 803-771-6112. And Representative Joe Wilson, his phone number is 803-642-6416. I know we kind of went through that fast, but you can find all of this information on the WRDW Channel 12 website. Get more information about that. And like I said, this could have a trickle-down effect, so don't just think that it won't affect you, okay? This has been your Help Matters Happening.
All right, thank you, Coach, for that, guys. We want to make sure we just cover gratitude, but guys, because there's so much to be grateful for, and we like to hear on Help Matters. Always like to share a moment of gratitude and have a moment of gratitude, because there are a lot of health benefits of gratitude. So we want to just always tell you to just find time to be grateful. Find those small things to be grateful for. They don't always have to be big things, but just the small, subtle things. And be grateful for. Be grateful for moments that you have, good moments, just being grateful. And so we just want to always reiterate that to our listening audience. Always find something to be grateful for, even in the midst of trouble, even in the midst of trial. Try to find something to be grateful for.
That's right.
Yes. Always find time to be grateful for. And that leads us into our Help Matters wellness tip. We know we are celebrating, we are acknowledging Mental Health Awareness Month. And so we like to just take a moment and just kind of go over, some things about mental health. We're going to be talking about that this morning. That's part of our subject. But we also want to just come from the Word of God. We know spiritual grounding, comforts, and peace of mind to help us navigate challenges through mental health. So we want to talk about that. So it's nothing new under the sun. God gave it to us in His Word. Let's go to Philippians 4:6-7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, present your request to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. First Peter, cast all your anxieties, some verse say cares, on Him, because He cares. So if God know we are going to be dealing with things, mental health is not a surprise to God. Struggles are not a surprise to God, So we have to cast those things over to Him, because He know we cannot handle those things. Even when Paul got to a point, when he asked Jesus thrice, to take this thorn out his side. He never specified what that thorn was, but he asked him to take this thing away, and Jesus said, no, my grace is sufficient, meaning we got to cast our cares upon Him. So in our human nature, we can get tired. In our human nature, we can get frustrated, so we have to learn to do what the words say. We got to cast those things upon Him. And so He will give us the perfect peace and the peace that surpasses all understanding. I know it's easy said and done, but we have to habitually practice it to doing that.
Most definitely. He hasn't given us a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind.
Amen.
And we just have to always keep that in mind. Couple of announcements, and we're going to jump into that subject of mental health, mental illness. Aren't they the same? I don't think so. We're going to talk about that. Holy Night of Worship. Holy Night of Worship is being held at Remnant Ministries International with Apostles Mark and Sean Adams. The guest speaker is Pastor Eric Tate of Daniel Grove Baptist Church in Millen, Georgia. The location of the Holy Night of Worship is going to be 2116 White Road. That's in Augusta, Georgia. And the date is going to be May 15th, which is today. That's going to be happening at 7:30 p.m. The theme of the event is coming. They want you to come expecting a move of God. Come expecting a move of God. And also, we got the Ministry of Wellness going to be taking place, guys, in June the 6th. I want you to get excited about it. I want you to join us there. This is the second event. We're looking forward to having a great time. So I want you to join me at the Kroc Center of Augusta again. That's on June 6th at 10 a.m. The event is going to be free. There's no cost to you, but registration is required. Registration is required. And this year's theme is Living Well, a Man's Perspective. So I'll be hosting the event, and I'll have special guests, and we'll be having some inspiring conversations on living a healthier lifestyle. And then we'll hear some testimonies, triumphs, and of other men and how they faced and overcome their health challenges. We're going to have some light refreshments for you, some great giveaways. So I want you to be there. But just remember, registration is required. The young men you can come to, ages as young as 16 and above, can attend the event. So if you got any questions, you can call 706-592-8862. That website where you can go and register is www.mow2026.eventbrite.com. Again, that website to register is www.mow2026.eventbrite.com. Men, looking forward to you to come on out. We're going to have a great time.
And also, guys, we want to thank Centerwell for being
sponsor.
our sponsor for this event. Centerwell is located on Wrightsboro Road. And we also, our guest speaker is Dr. John Latson, D.O. He specializes in preventive holistic care, and he's going to be speaking on men's health. Guys, you want to come and get all this information and hear from, from other men's perspective, and ladies, we're there to serve. We're there to help the women on their wellness. Women's going to be there. Anyone like to volunteer? Hey, let us know. Hit us up. You want to volunteer? We're going to make sure the men have everything that they need, and we're going to move out the way.
Most definitely, we're going to do that.
We're going to get out the way. So, guys.
And we're going to have a good time.
We had
a good time last year. We're going to have a great time.
And season's limited because they are going every day. So you want to be there, guys. I promise you, you're not going to regret it.
You must register.
But it's a free event, but you must register, guys.
All right. So we're talking about mental health, mental illness. And Jackie, we know that everyone, just like physical health, physical conditioning, everyone has a level of that. Everyone has mental health, but not everyone has a mental illness. And confusing the two can lead to stigmas because people don't like to be labeled. Believing that mental health only means mental illness, that can prevent people from seeking help,
right.
Needed for stress or burnout or whatever they may be going through, that they really can't handle these could be chronic depression and things like that, due to fear of being labeled. So we have to get past those fears and know that when we need help in this area, especially that mental area, then we have to seek the help we need. Now, some people are able, to overcome, their mental fears, their mental issues and things like that with develop, with ways in which they have, developed, able to, what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Coping mechanism.
Yeah,
coping mechanism that they've developed that helps them to be able to, overcome depression or overcome anxiety and things like that. And we all suffer some depression and anxieties, but when we get to a point to where it's just chronic and you just daily, being depressed and anxiety and things like that, where you just can't get over it, then you need some help to help you overcome those things.
But Coach, it's been a stigma in the the Black community for years,
Right.
years about mental health, and now people are starting to get more help, reaching out for professional help, and like you said, in all ways we acknowledge God in all our ways. He direct our path, but God give us natural help as well from doctors. So we have to seek out counseling. We have to seek out help. So don't be suffering in silence. Help is out there. God is for and foremost the first, but there are also people that God placed on this earth to give help as well. So get professional help, and you may need that professional help because sometimes things stems from childhood.
Most definitely,
Coach, and
a lot of things.
Yeah, we've been talking. Remember, we've been talking about inequities. And those things that we've been kind of shaped into, and what our brain has been shaped around, and how we think and how we behave. And sometimes we have to reconnect back to that to see, okay, what's happening, what is come from.
That normal has become, that abnormal has become
a norm. Yeah,
because you've done it for so long. The abnormal of what was in your family line, has become normal to you. So, and then once you realize, hey, this ain't normal, that thing has become such a stronghold in your life, where it's holding on to you. And if you can just get past that barrier, get over that hurdle, then you can do and be freer, in your life and in your mind. Just mental health is your overall, just to give you, a definition of it. Mental health is your overall emotional and psychological well-being. It's a dynamic, it's a sliding scale that everyone has. As I said initially, it can be good, it can be poor, or it could be somewhere in between. It just depends on the person and how they're able to cope with what they're going through and overcome what they're going through. But now when we look at mental illness refers to a specific diagnosable medical condition, like clinical depression or anxiety, like I've said, that disrupts how you think, feel, and function on a daily basis. And we have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Mental health. We're going to focus on mental health here on the first part of the show. Mental health is the broad, as I said, continuous state of emotional, psychological, and social well-being. That's a key one too. Social well-being, because our mental health affects how we react around people, in different environments, around different people. It influences our thinking and how we feel and how we act in different situations. And as I said, mental illness is a diagnosis. Mental health is about your well-being. It's not merely the absence of illness. It is about functioning well. Just because you have an illness or something, a chronic disease, don't mean that you can't still function well, in society or different environments. As long as you have a strong mental health, where you have a mechanism, coping mechanism, in which to overcome, things that try to limit you from operating in certain environments.
Yeah, and when you talk about coping mechanism, Coach, and some of them things can be some unhealthy coping mechanism. Emotional eating, drinking, pornography. Let's be real. Be real. It can be certain things. Isolation. Yeah. So those are some coping mechanism people can use
that are not healthy.
That's not healthy. So that's why it's so important to reach out. And when people don't communicate, they don't talk to others, like you say, they isolate themselves. That's dangerous. Just especially when you already probably they talk about the introvert and the extrovert, and you're introvert, you can just kind of put that wall up, and shut off from the world, and don't get any type of help, or don't seek any type of help. And those are people that just could be suffering in silence. So, and there is help. There is help out there. There's help out there, and we already established, in all our ways we acknowledge God, and He directs our path.
Right.
it's nothing that he doesn't know. It's nothing that he doesn't see.
Or can't do.
He can't do. There's nothing that's impossible that, with him. But there is that holistic natural health that God put on this earth. Everybody has a calling, and some doctors, that's what they do.
Right.
So you have to make sure you seek God. Okay, God, I need help. Help me find the best, help, to lead me to the right person,
Most
because
definitely.
everybody come different. You have different psychologists, you have different therapies, you have different mental health therapists.
Mhm.
So you want to make sure you going to the right person
Right
or
for
the
help,
right
right support,
profession
right.
that can help you.
Most definitely.
Some, like you said, some is mental illness,
Mhm.
So and like you said, we're dealing with mental health right now.
Mhm.
And there's no shame in getting help.
Mhm.
Let me tell you, there's no shame. There's no Romans 8, there's no condemnation.
No condemnation.
No condemnation. Get help. Don't
Right.
suffer in silence. If it's someone that you know, if it's someone that's out there, and we in a world today, cut the television on, go on social media, you see it.
Mhm. It's
And
everywhere.
people are in
Mhm.
a different mindset right now.
Yeah.
And so you got to be very cautious, in doing things. We got to be very aware
Mhm.
of our awareness. Even when we just stopping at the light and blowing at someone, we don't know what we're triggering
Right, because you don't know where those people are.
as
I mean, we see it
from
every
there in
day.
the mental state,
You
coach.
make a good point there with that road rage. We have to be really careful
Yes.
with that because you don't know what people are going through.
Right.
Mental health. When it comes to mental health, it can change based on the situation and stress levels. Good mental health means feeling capable and resilient. Poor mental health can involve stress, sadness, or burnout without a formal diagnosis. So you can consider to have poor mental health if you don't have healthy coping mechanism to help you overcome these things. And some people, they may even try to employ some healthy coping mechanism, but they're just not within themselves strong enough to overcome it.
And
And
that's
that's
when you
when
need
that help
help
comes
comes
in.
in.
Struggling with mental health, feeling overwhelmed, unhappy, or just stressed by life situations. We're gonna always have the normal stresses of life that we're gonna
Right.
have to learn how to deal with.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are just some stresses in life that you're gonna have to learn how to deal with. And when I say deal with, have good, healthy coping mechanisms involved. Some things you just have to walk away from.
Yeah.
Some things you have to practice different breathing exercises. Some things you have to walk away, just pick up a book
Mm.
and read it. Say, hey, time out. I
Right.
just need a time out right
Yeah, that's
now.
good. And
You know.
that's good you say that, coach, because we have to find what triggers
Hmm.
these moments. And that's when we have to say, okay, wait a minute. I got to separate myself from that. I got to put
Hmm.
molecules between me and that. There's things that can trigger
Right.
stuff that happen, things can get triggered in us.
Hmm.
Somebody can say something,
Hmm.
just take for instance what is it, that military PTSD.
PTSD.
Certain things can
Post
trigger.
traumatic stress
Yeah,
syndrome. Right.
certain things can trigger. And if that person is not in a good place,
Right.
it can trigger some things.
Right.
So we have to recognize them and be aware of those things, and we have to say, wait a minute, I got to remove myself from this situation,
Hmm.
or I got to pull back off of screen time.
Hmm.
Too much of that is
Right.
triggering intrusive negative
Thoughts.
thoughts.
Right.
I'm taking that too personal because
Hmm.
it relates to me a little bit too much, and that's when you got to bag up off of that,
Hmm.
and like you said, back off,
Time out.
breathe, get
Right.
out, walk, exercise,
Right.
whatever you reach, pray, read your Bible, whatever it is to help you
And,
with that.
and that also helps us to respond better. It helps us to respond better. If others are involved, or if we just we don't want to, have those unhealthy habits where we are reverting to some type of bad food, where we're eating a lot of sweets or chocolate, or,
Yes.
those things are detrimental to our health if we do that all the time. And
Yeah.
that's what
If it's
we go to.
consistent.
And the thing about it is, when you consistently, like you say, do those things, that's what your flesh is going to revert to. When I feel like this, I want my chocolate. When I feel like this, I want my ice cream. So you're going to have to break that, right? You're
Right.
going to have to break that. And now I have to do something else. I have to take a time out. When I
Hmm.
feel like that, I'm going to go pick up a book. When I feel like that, I'm going to change my environment. I'm going to go walk outside. I'm going to go walk into another room of the house. I'm going to go look at pictures of the family. You got to, when something is triggered, you got to change the response to it.
But
And
you
then you got to learn how to do that consistently,
constantly.
practice it. Sometimes you might miss it, but we want to get to a point where we're getting it most of the time so we can kind of erase our flesh that for reacting in a certain way,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Right. It makes sense
Right.
because we can change the neural pathway
Mm-hmm.
of how we think and how we react. Now, I'm not excusing people have mental illness and serious mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
So, and going undiagnosed, or diagnosed without getting treatment.
Right.
Some people have some
Most
serious
definitely.
issues
Most
out
definitely.
there.
And that's what we're going to talk about.
But
After we take our break, we're going to talk about
yes,
mental illness.
yeah.
And that stuff, that kind of leans towards that when
Yeah,
people
with
get
the mental health,
diagnosed.
but it's easier said than done. But like Coach said, we got to practice it. We have to make sure, okay, I'm not putting these things in my environment.
Mm-hmm.
Just take food. If you know that a coping mechanism can be um, ice cream,
Mm-hmm.
cookies.
Right. Which is
Those are some things I just cannot bring in the house,
right.
because if I get stressed or my anxiety get high,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing that I'm gonna run to is what?
Yeah, that
That cake and ice cream. Yeah.
Share the number for people that want to
Yes.
call in.
Guys, if you want to call in, just share with us. We really welcome your views and opinion. The number is 803-226-0041 or 803-226-0043. 0041-0043. You can call us in. All right.
Caller hung up.
All right. So we got a caller trying to call in, but we're going to continue, guys, to
call back.
To talk about this. But yes, we have to. Someone said practice to overcome bad habits by changing environment, reading, walking, with good habits. We have to switch the negative with positive.
Most
We have to
definitely.
on purpose do that. And we have to, like I said, it's not as easy to do that. So we have to practice doing. Okay, we have a call on the air. Caller, you're on the air. Hey,
Doc.
Tara, how you doing, Dr. Stalling? Good to hear from you. Awesome.
Illness, because I think so many times people mix that up, especially in our society. Mental health is almost like a buzzword for mental illness, and it's so good that you guys, like I said, are having this conversation so people can understand we all have mental health, but everybody doesn't necessarily deal with a mental illness. And because they mix the two, they kind of merge them together. And so often, and I see that, and we put mental health today has gotten a negative connotation, but also it has become a buzzword for people. They use it a lot of times as an excuse for their bad behavior, not realizing that, hey, we all have mental health. It's just, it's just like physical health. It's a part of who we are. It's our mental stability. But just understanding that everything is not diagnosable and everything. And even if you had, I heard Coach Patrick say, just because you deal with a mental illness, it doesn't mean that you don't have to have mental health. Yeah. You don't have to have a coping mechanism, work toward not allowing that mental health to overtake you, because what I see so often, and I was just sharing with the group on Tuesday, that when it comes to mental health and mental illness, when people get diagnosed a lot of time or misdiagnosed, they use that title and they own it, and they don't try to live outside of that title or that diagnosis they were given. Everything is confined in the diagnosable criteria, instead of working on coping mechanisms, behavior change, because a lot of times if you just change your mindset, it'll change how you feel, and it'll definitely change how you behave. That you guys are having that topic.
That's awesome, Dr. Stallings. You're absolutely right. You know, and you and I collaborate on that all the time. We even talked about some of these behaviors, stem from childhood, and you have a book about breaking those cycles, because if those things are not identified, and we don't become aware of them, and we wonder why, in our adult life we're dealing with some habits or some behaviors that we're unaware that kind of transpire or start in our childhood. Kind of touch on that a little bit, Dr. Stallings.
Yeah, definitely. And what happens is we have traumas in our childhood, physical traumas, emotional traumas, sexual traumas, that happen in our childhood, and it breaks our mental state a lot of times, or it causes an fracture, and people grow up, they develop this negative mindset with these negative behaviors, creating these patterns, and then they use the excuse, or they have they don't understand that, hey, this is something that happens to you, it's not who you are. And they'll say words like, well, this is just how I always been, not understanding or not recognizing this is not who you are. It's something that happened to you when you were a child that caused you to have this mindset and these different diverse behaviors that are negative, and now you've become an adult or a young adult, and they are impacting your life, and they don't know how to change them because they've grown with them, so it's become a part of them, and they've never recognized or stopped to evaluate, hey, when did this start? And if it started, why did it start? And is it a way that I can change this thought pattern or change this behavior? But again, so often people get caught up in, well, this is just how I've always been. This is the same mindset, instead of one seeking God, because we don't seek Him enough to, hey, and I just want to put a pause here. My mindset is, if you wasn't born with it, you don't have to die with it. We can change and break those cycles in our lives that cause us hurt, harm, and danger and bad behaviors. But a lot of times people don't stop and evaluate them, and then they don't seek Holy Spirit. And then the most difficult part I see, Jackie, is they don't want to do the work to see the change.
Wow, that's good. And I like what you said, Dr. Stallings. That stuff kind of follow you,
and it's the
it ain't went nowhere. We think, okay, I done got grown, I'm married, and you think this stuff just, you left it back. No, but it literally follows you into your adolescence, into your adult life, and
at some point you got to deal with it.
You got to deal with it.
And if you need help doing that, then get the help. But like Jackie had said earlier, that's such a stigma with people getting help when they need help, especially in our community, because they don't want to be labeled.
But let me say one thing, Dr. Stallings. I like what you said. Some people own it, because some people use it as a protection. Some people use it as power. Let's call it what it is.
And some people use it for attention.
Because some people invite chaos. They enjoy it. I'm being real right now. So
it's called manipulation. They learn how to manipulate that mindset so they can get what they want.
Wow.
And you just said power. They use it for chaos, and they learn how to use it. They master it instead of trying to destroy it and change their mindset and behavior. That's what it is. They use it for chaos.
And
Right.
that's poor mental health. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr.
for
Stalling,
calling in.
taking the
Appreciate
time to
you.
call in. We appreciate you. All
I
right.
love the work y'all doing. Keep it up.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Have a great, blessed day.
All right.
That was good, Coach.
That was good.
Because this is, you know,
we got to acknowledge our sponsors.
Okay, guys, we're going to come up on a soft break right here.
Soft break real quick. Going to acknowledge our sponsors, our partners, our friend, Aiken Chiropractic, Dr. Dan. When your spine is aligned, your body is too. Aiken Chiropractic is located at 425 Lawrence Street Northwest in Aiken, South Carolina. Their number is 803-641-9191. Their website, www.aikenchiropractic.com. And Centerwell Senior Primary Care. They're helping seniors live healthier and happier lives. They're located at 3435 Riceboro Road in Augusta, Georgia. Their number is 706-841-9719. Their website is www.centerwell.com. And Graham's Vehicle Detailing. Affordable mobile detailing with professional results every time. Their number is 706-830-4982. Their website is www.grahamsgvd.com. Listen, if you'd like to be a sponsor partner or friend of this broadcast, you can call 706-592-8862. And I'd just like to say thank you to our sponsors of the show, sponsors of the radio station, for helping us bring, the information that we bring to the CSRA on a weekly basis.
All right, guys. Now we've been talking about mental health, and our subject is mental health and mental illness. Are they the same? No, they're not. So we've been talking the first half about mental health. We had Dr. Tara Stalling to call in to talk about the mental health part of it, and so that was some good information. And like I said, those are some of the things we just like, because when we are not aware, where these things come from, we think, like you said, that becomes norm. Right. It grows with us. Right. It grows and it goes with us.
Right. And as young children, it's become our norm because that's what we were taught. I mean, if you teach a child about Santa Claus, they're gonna believe in Santa Claus. If you teach them about the Easter Bunny, they're gonna believe in the Easter Bunny. So those things that we've learned throughout our life, whether it's good, bad, ugly, right or wrong, that's what we learn. That's what's been.
That's what our brain has been shaped around.
Put in us, and we're not at that maturity level to filter through that stuff and sort through that stuff. And then when you get to a point in your life where you really get a relationship with Jesus Christ and you start seeing things differently, because now you're seeing things by the word and what the word says, and you say something's not right about that. Right. But now that thing is so deep and badly embedded in you. You got to flush that out. You got to purge that stuff. And it starts with the blood of Christ. Yes. Allow the blood to cleanse us.
Just think about racism.
Right.
Those things are rooted. It's rooted. We want, call it what it is. And that's a form of mental health. It really is.
So let's get to mental illness.
Yes, let's get to
mental illness is a disorder. It's a disorder. It involves significant disturbances in cognitive, emotional regulation, or behavior. Significant disturbances, diagnosable health conditions that are altering your thinking, your mood, and your behavior. So mental illness is a lot deeper than just mental health, because mental health, just like Dr. Stalling said, is something just like your physical conditioning. If I'm not being physically active, then my body is going to start reacting unhealthily to that. I'm going to become overweight. I'll probably start getting some type of chronic disease. So what? I'm in poor physical health because why? I'm not being physically active. So without mental health, it's the same way. If you're not putting any healthy coping mechanisms in place, then you're going to have a poor mental health because you're not dealing with those things that are coming up, even though you have the capability to. Mental illness is totally different. It's a disorder. Something's going.
It's been diagnosed.
Yes, something is off. With your chemical imbalances and things in your brain, and things are going on there. Some of the mental illness systems are distress that interferes with your ability to work, to go to school, or to just maintain relationships. Some of the examples of mental illnesses are chronic disease,
Mm,
anxiety disorders, bipolar disorders, schizophrenia.
right.
So these are some things that are going on, that are outside of your control. And there's different treatments that can help people with
Yeah.
those things.
But the thing is, Coach, you can have a mental illness, diagnosed with a mental illness, but still have good mental health.
That's true too. That is true.
Let's talk about that.
That is true too.
If the symptoms are managed well now,
Mhm.
if they're
Right.
managed well, you're getting the help, the
Mhm.
professional
Healthy
help
coping
that you need.
mechanisms.
Right,
Right.
yes.
Right.
They can, have, but they can also have poor
Mental health.
mental
Right.
health as
Because they
well.
don't have those
Yes,
good things in place,
yes,
along with that mental condition that they
yes.
have, that mental illness
Yeah,
that they
due to
have. So that, yeah,
stress
that's a
and
good
grief,
point.
and yes, a lot
Mhm.
of things, in our lives. So yes, so there's just some things to think about, to ponder,
Right. And it all starts with our mind. We
right?
focus so much on the physical part of wellness, eating right, being
Yeah,
active, and some of us have so much mental
mental
weight
weight.
that we need to
Oh
get rid
wow,
of,
that's good.
before we can even address the physical
Physical part.
things,
Yeah,
that we're not doing, because that's what's limiting us.
right.
This mental illness that I got, that I haven't been focusing on, and allowing myself to get the proper treatment for it,
Yes,
is hindering me from doing everything else.
right.
It's like a brick wall that you're behind, and you want to do all of these other things, but it's that mental block or that mental illness is hindering you from doing that.
Right.
And some of us are not even aware of it.
Yeah.
It could be that bad.
Yeah.
It could be that bad.
Because what Romans 12:2, be ye what? Transform of the renewing of your mind. And so that's a whole lot to be said. Renewing. And renewing is continuum, it's infinitum. You have to continue to do that every day. Look at what's in front of us every day, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Look at social media. Look at the television. Look at what's going around. You don't even have to look at social media. Go outside your door. And this stuff is real. It's happening right here in our neighborhoods. It's happening in our backyards.
In your house.
In your house.
Yeah.
It is so much, domestic violence, and it's just so much. And so this stuff is happening. And so we have to understand that, we don't have to, like I said, we don't have to suffer alone. And so many people is just going in their cocoon and just isolating themselves. And it makes the situation even worse. Right. And like you said, we're talking about mental illness, and there is. And some people don't know the difference between what's right or what's wrong, or what's good or what's bad, because and I'm gonna tell you, and I feel they're just a spirit.
Portals.
It's portal, and
it's spiritual warfare.
We are in spiritual warfare, and if we don't understand that we are in spiritual warfare, and we got to know that how we fight this spiritual warfare. And you may want to hit on that, Coach, because it is real, and this is really boiled down to it. This is really what it is. God, it's a spotter right over your head, right there, right there, right there's a black one too. God, we sorry about that. Yeah. But so yes, and we have to talk about what it is. And we know we have to put on the full, not part, but the full armor of God.
That's right. Because our talking about spiritual warfare, because of these strongholds and these things that alter our minds to become even a mental illness, our weapons, they're not carnal. And we have to understand that. That's why we have to pray. We have to fast. We have to read our word to see what God says about these things that are going on, because the Bible tells about these things that are going on.
Yes.
So there's no need to be surprised about it or anything like that. But we have to be aware of it and be ready to deal with what's going on in this world that affects, our livelihood, our life, that in turn affects our thinking, and our thoughts and our actions. And it all comes down to our mental, our mental state. It all comes.
And it's people that have some serious issues, and you pray for them. You pray for, you pray.
Right. I
You
mean,
may not physically know them, but you pray for that. We pray, for the people,
right.
the mindset, and a right mindset, because God said He's not giving, like you said, a spirit of fear,
Power, love,
but a
and sound.
power and love of a sound mind, a
Right.
tranquil mind, a calm mind.
But see, when people are battling with mental illnesses, they can't
Exactly,
get
they
that.
can't see that.
Right. They can't get that.
That's
So we have
when
to help.
the professional help comes
And
in
that's
at.
why mental illnesses often require professional treatment.
Yeah.
We have to seek it. It may even require medications, therapy. These are all the type of treatments that mental illnesses may require, and they often do. So it's so important to consult with your primary healthcare provider for support. If you find yourself in that situation where you just cannot overcome, depression, anxiety, or you just know that something's going on, or someone else in your family, a loved one may notice some things going on in you, and so we have to seek help for those things. You have to seek help for those
Right.
things. It's so important. So Jackie, as we get ready to wind it down, let's shift a little bit to what they can do to improve their mental health. Mental illness is a mental illness. It's diagnosable. Like I said, to improve that, it's going to require some professional treatment. It
Yes.
may require medication. It's
Right.
going to require some therapy. It's going to require some things that you're going to need from professionals. Your primary care health provider, and you need to seek that.
Yes.
You need to seek that out, or if you got family members or someone you love that you see these things cropping up in their lives, we have to be bold enough to express that to our family and our loved ones that you may need to seek help. Because you keep going through this same thing, you keep going down the same road and reacting the same way in these different environments and these different situations comes up. It may be deeper or heavier than what you can deal with. So you're trying to carry stuff. Yeah, you've tried to cast it to God, but you still have the part that you have to do.
Right.
When you cast those cares, you can't keep picking them up.
Right.
So if you find yourself keep picking them cares back up, there's something deep within you that's going on that God has, like you said, given us doctors and professionals to help us overcome them symptoms. But He is the true healer.
Yes.
But He's given us people to help us with symptoms to get us to a point to where we can bear it to enough so that He can bring the true healing into our life.
And that's when the
And
supernatural,
right.
but we have to do our part, and so just key strategies, guys, from our Coach's Corner. Restored quality sleep.
Yeah.
I can't stress that even more. Just getting good quality sleep. Your physical body needs it.
Consistent sleep
It
schedule.
needs it. It needs it. We can't keep grinding. We can't keep grinding and grinding, and we don't allow our body to recruit, reset, and revitalize. So, and refresh itself, So we have to give ourselves good quality sleep.
Yeah. Limit
that blue light before going to bed. Cut the television off. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but some things you're just gonna have to turn it off. And much as your flesh want it, you're gonna have to starve that flesh.
And try to get a consistent sleep schedule.
Yeah.
I'm going to bed every night at 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I'm getting up every day at 6 or 6:30 or whatever time that is for you. But try to make it consistent. And try to make it at least 7 to 8 hours a day.
A good quality sleep.
Right.
Yeah. Regular physical activity. It helps boost your mood, improve your endorphins. So exercise, that could be walking, that could be activities like gardening, riding a bike, whatever you enjoy doing at your stage of your life, dancing, whatever you like doing, just get out and do it. Playing pickleball, whatever it is that you enjoy doing.
Most definitely.
Your nutrition, your dietary needs. Make sure we're limiting processed food, added sugars, and just staying close to whole food. Don't eat out as much, cook at home. Healthy social connection. When you say healthy social connection, make sure you know you're surrounding yourself around people you know that you can trust, and that healthy conversations,
Family,
not
friends,
gossip and
community.
yes, all this community. Get involved in the community. Volunteer. That gives you a sense of hope and gratitude and thankfulness. Set healthy boundaries.
so
You get
important.
to, you really do. I
That's
am
a big
learning to do that. That's a big
Yeah,
one. A
that
lot of people
work.
can't say no. Some people thrive on busyness.
That
They
work-life balance.
like to stay busy, but
Work-life
you gotta
balance.
yes, you gotta stay. You gotta
Gotta
set
have
some healthy boundaries. Practice mindfulness. You know, stress management. Managing stress, guys, is very, very important. You know, technology, just
There's a lot of digital resources out there, but you have to be careful with that.
right.
You know?
Yeah.
A lot of digital resources out there that helps you to soothe your mind.
Yeah, but you want to be careful you're not opening up something as well. You know,
so do your research
do
on
your
your digital
research, yeah,
resources
because you don't want to open up
Yeah.
certain things, you
Right.
know. So give certain things access. So,
Right. So, Jack,
those
we
are some of
gotta
the
close it
things
up.
from the Coach's Corner. We're wrapping it up right now, guys. We thank you for listening to Help Matters. So we're going to wrap it up right now.
Most definitely.
All
So
right.
listen, guys, stay tuned for the Concerned Ministers Fellowship. Pastor Bush is coming up right after us. And then at 10 a.m., you got Saturdays with Sean. 12 p.m., you got Midday Motivations with Alicia G. And at 9 p.m. this evening, you got the New Artist Profile with Tony D. And then just make sure you check out our weekly program. 6 a.m., Judah the Hebrew kicks it off with prayer. At 8 a.m., you got Sean again with praise and purpose. And then 10 a.m., you got Pastor Small with morning praise. 12 p.m. is Mary Harris with the afternoon praise cafe. Then 3 p.m. you got Minister Arlene Edwards talking it up. On Tuesdays at 11 a.m. you got Reginald Forrest with Education Matters, and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Pastor O'Neill and Reverend Takia with Transforming Lives.
All right, guys, we'd like to thank you for listening to Help Matters right here on Shout 94.7 FM, the voice of the gospel truth. Guys, we always like to leave you with 3 John 2. We wish above that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper, guys. We thank you for joining us this morning here on Help Matters. Remember, guys, we are here to help you to become a better you, to be the best you that you can be. Always sow and show an act of kindness to someone, because you may never know when that act of kindness may be extended back to you. Always find something to be grateful for, guys, whether it's big or small, guys.
Positive.
Yes,
because positive attitudes create positive thinking.
Thinking.
Positive thinking creates positive actions, and positive actions create positive results.
Absolutely. So, guys, we thank you. Thank you for joining us here at Help Matters as we bring you relevant information that pertains to your health and well-being. Remember, you matter, and your health matter as well. All right. See you later, guys. Be blessed. Enjoy your day.
Health begins in the spirit and the mind. Take time.
All right, Facebook,
All right,
YouTube.
see you later.
Thank you so mumuch for tuning in with us.
Thank you for your comments. Appreciate it. Help matters to me. Will you do it to the station for your morning motivation to get your education so yourself and your future need? Strong as ever like a weak folks, to become the next folks, that the attitude and labor like a lifelong dream goal. Open it up. And it's time that they're here to help you to become a better you, to be the best you, the best version you can be.
Food for your soul. Let's go.
Help